Hello, Fiddle coming back at you with another ID review. I'm going to be going through all the sort of boss, Encanto IDs for review. Then I'm going to go through and review some of the more popular IDs and so on, including egos. If you like the series, make sure to give me a like. Any feedback helps. It helps a ton to let me know what you guys are interested in, what you want to see, if this was helpful, just in general. So today we're talking about the Ishmael, the Pequod Captain. And boy, let me start off by saying this ID is just a really fun one to play. It's really, really fun. Starting off with her first ability, it's not the strongest ability. It kind of loses a good chunk of clashes without sanity. It's not an ability you want to open with. Feels kind of weak at times. It's similar to her boss fight, how she has the two guys helping her. She has one that's a damage dealer and one that's a tank, and her whole idea is she's giving the tank more tankiness and trying to force your attacks onto it. It's the sort of the same thing here with her first skill. So it gives the leftmost skill slot aggro, plus for highest reason. It also applies protection to that ally, and it does bleed. A good old bleed. She's works very well with the bleed team. Going to her skill 2, pursue them to the end. Now this is what makes her ID fun. This ability right here has pretty decent clash ability. So it's a base 4, 3 coins. 3 coins translates into 12, so 16. 16's okay. So a little bit on the lower end, but it's still okay. But combat start, you apply 3 offensive level to 2 adjacent allies. That's already strong. So if you don't know how it calculates stuff, what offensive level is used for is for every 3 offensive level you have over the enemy's defensive level, you gain +1 clash. So as if you're equal with your enemy, this is +1 clash every time, which makes this pretty good. Its on use is every reason of the highest reason adds 20% chance for this order for this unit's orders to basically I'm struggling to read it. Basically what it means is more reason you have, the more likely your next ally on the dashboard will do an additional attack. Which, doing an additional attack that's unopposed, because it is an unopposed attack, there's no blocking, there's no clashing, this is really good. And then it also gives damage up pride ability, which also goes with the reason, and it does burn for shits and giggles and bleed. It's just, this is what makes it fun. Extra hits on your other characters, really strong. Absolutely love it. And then her skill 3, think of her skill 3 as a big execute. It gets coin power for bleed. If the target is staggered, it does even more damage. It gives bleed count and burn count, because burn for shits and giggles. It's just so good. And then this one, it's a defensive skill, whatever. This could have been literally anything, and it still would run the ID. She has the classic theme going on, where if it's a lake thing, basically most things from her Kanto she does 10% damage, more damage to. She works with a poise team pretty well here. More burn for, we say fuck it, things are on fire. And then her present, so she has 2 passives that are pretty good for poise. You want to run her in a poise team, but she can really just kind of just go anywhere. I mean, she goes well with the Blade lineage characters, because they're all poised, she's poised, they're pride, she's pride. She gives them additional attacks, which works with all their poise skills, because all their attacks give them poise. Everyone's having a grand old time. It's Blade lineage and Ishmael. So, and as far as her egos go, of course, she goes well with Blind Obsession, which is the ego released with her at the time. Or it's the ego from the season pass, Blind Obsession. One of my most favorite egos. We'll talk about that during a different, review over different egos. So, to sum it up, to make a long story short on this whole thing, I would say Pequod Captain, easily up there with some of the best IDs. She's up there with Wild Hunt Heathcliff because at the time of this releasing, he's been already released. He's a very fun character to play. If you're wondering, should I uptie this to 4? I would say absolutely. I mean, it comes down to the simple fact of she will always be relevant because of this extra attack. Because IDs that enable or power up or gain power from the other IDs around it will always find a home somewhere. Because she's going to be as strong as her fellow IDs you put up next to her. And as long as, like, it doesn't matter, like, oh no, there's a new ID that's overpowered. Will it overshadow her slot? Well, that overpowered ID can just get additional attack or additional skill in a fight. So she is a ID that can scale with the future because she scales with those around her. So even if those around her, those IDs you're using today fall off and newer IDs take place, she can still find a home somewhere. She can still be relevant. And that's the strength of this ID. So if I were to give a number, like, I would put this around the same spot again as my other 2 reviews, Faust and Multi-Crack Faust and Wild Hunt Heathcliff. I'm gonna say those are both like 9 out of 10s. This one's a 9 out of 10 with them. It's just absolutely superb. That's my rating for if you should upgrade it, by the way. My rating for if it's fun, it's 10 out of 10. Like, it's like Wild Hunt with that. 10 out of 10 ID for fun. So, with that, I would like to say I stream every Wednesday through Sunday on Twitch TV/Fiddle. Come on by if you're interested in Limbus content. We like to do it. Also, if you like the content, give a like, follow, subscribe. Trying to do more stuff with the YouTube channel. So, with that, I will see you next time. Have a good day. See you.